It's 1717, you're somewhere in the Caribbean, and you are about to live one full day as a pirate. Not the movie version, the real one. And the real one is stranger, fairer, and far more disgusting than anything Hollywood ever showed you. By tonight, you'll have voted on your captain's orders, inspected your own gums for the first signs of a disease that kills more pirates than any navy, and maybe, if the horizon is kind, taken a share of gold that was divided more equally than the wages in most modern companies. Welcome aboard. Try not to die. 4 in the morning. You wake up swinging. You're in a hammock, packed shoulder to shoulder with 40 other men on a deck with less headroom than a modern car. The air is a solid thing down here. Sweat, tar, salt, bilge water sloshing somewhere beneath you, and the snoring of men who will either make you rich or get you hanged. You didn't sleep well. Nobody does. But here's the first surprise of your day. You slept as long as the captain did. On this ship, nobody wakes you with a whip. That matters more than you know yet. Because here's what nobody told you about pirates. You joined this crew by signing a document, the Articles. A written constitution agreed before the voyage that every man aboard signed or made his mark on. It set your pay. It set your working hours. It set compensation if you got injured. In 1717, ordinary sailors in the Royal Navy could be flogged at a captain's whim and cheated of wages they'd waited years for. You, a criminal, have an employment contract with insurance. Sit with that. 6 in the morning. Breakfast, if you can call it that. Hardtack. A biscuit baked so hard it can chip a tooth, so old it has its own ecosystem. You learn the veteran's trick fast. Knock it on the table first. What falls out is weevils. What stays in is protein you don't get a vote on. Wash it down with beer because the fresh water went green 2 weeks ago. And while you chew, look around, because this table is the strangest sight in the world of 1717. English deserters, freed African men, Dutch mutineers, a native fisherman, an Irish farmhand who fled an indenture. On land, some of these men could be bought and sold. Out here, on many crews, a freed man eats the same rations you do, holds a cutlass, and casts a vote that counts exactly the same as yours. The sea didn't make men saints. It made hierarchy expensive. A crew that fights together splits together. 7 in the morning. Ships work, and there is always work. A wooden ship is a thing that is constantly trying to die. You haul on lines until your palms split. You scrub the deck with a sandstone block on your knees. You climb rigging 30 meters up to patch a sail while the mast draws circles against the sky. There's a man beside you rethreading rope fibers, another hammering oakum into leaking seams, another greasing the pumps that keep the Atlantic on the correct side of the hull. Miss your watch, fall asleep on duty, and the Articles have a schedule of punishments for that too. Fair doesn't mean soft. 9 in the morning. Now comes the part that would make a Navy officer faint. The lookout has spotted a sail on the horizon, and the captain wants to chase it. So what happens next? He doesn't give an order. He calls a vote. The whole crew gathers on deck. Arguments happen. That sail could be a fat merchantman riding low with cargo. Or it could be a warship flying false colors, and men who guess wrong about that don't get to guess again. Hands go up. The count is taken. The chase is on. Understand what you just saw. On a pirate ship, the captain is elected, and he can be voted out tomorrow. Crews removed captains for cowardice, for cruelty, for bad judgment, sometimes mid-voyage, sometimes more than once. His absolute power exists in battle only. The moment the cannons stop, he's just a man with one vote and a slightly bigger cabin. And even then, he usually eats the same food you do. There's a second officer who exists purely to balance him. The quartermaster. Elected separately, he speaks for the crew, controls the food, settles fights, and guards every coin of plunder until it's divided. 2 elected powers watching each other, checks and balances, 50 years before certain famous constitutions made the idea respectable. Noon. The sun is a hammer, and the sea is empty again. The sail vanished. Hours of tension for nothing. So it's dinner. Salted beef boiled until it surrenders, and more hardtack. And now, the moment that decides your future more than any battle. The surgeon, if this ship even has one, tells you to open your mouth. Your gums are soft. They bled a little on the biscuit this morning. You feel tired in a way sleep doesn't fix, and there's a bruise on your thigh that came from nowhere. That's scurvy, and it is the true monster of this ocean. Not the Navy, not storms, not sharks. Deficiency of vitamin C. Your body simply stops making collagen, the glue that holds you together. Gums rot and turn black. Teeth drop out. Old healed wounds reopen because scars are seams and your body has stopped maintaining the stitching. Sailors described corpses whose old scars had unzipped after death. In the age of sail, scurvy killed something like 2 million seamen, more than combat, more than every other sea disease combined. And the cure was a lemon. Nobody knew. For centuries, the answer was sitting in a fruit bowl, and the age's best doctors were prescribing vinegar and mercury instead. You will not be cured by knowledge today. You'll be cured, if you're lucky, by the fresh limes in the hold of the next ship you rob. Pirates ate better than Navy sailors for one simple reason. They stole fresh supplies, constantly. Crime, ironically, was the closest thing to nutrition this ocean had. 2 in the afternoon. Sail on the horizon. Again. And this time it's real. A merchant brig. Heavy in the water, running for the coast. Battle stations. But watch how this actually goes, because pirate combat runs on economics, not glory. Step 1. Terror. Up goes the black flag. The skull. The hourglass, telling them their time is running out. The flag is a business card, and it says, surrender now and live, resist, and don't. Every pirate in these waters is invested in that flag's reputation, because a reputation that terrifies is cheaper than a battle. A crew that surrenders instantly costs you 0 cannonballs and 0 blood. But first you have to get close, and so, for the last hour of the chase, your ship has been lying. You're flying Dutch colors, sitting low, sails sloppy on purpose, looking like one more tired trader on a boring sea. Deception first, terror second, violence last, and only if the first 2 fail. The black flag doesn't go up until the prey can no longer run. A warning shot across her bow, her sails come down, her flag drops. No battle today. This is the normal ending, the one the legends skip. You board her. And notice what the boarding party does first. Yes, the coins, the cargo, the silks, but the professionals head below deck, to the medicine chest worth more than gold out here, to the carpenter's tools, to the sailcloth, the rope, the fresh food, the limes, and to the crew itself. The pirates line up the merchant sailors and ask one question. How does your captain treat you? Volunteers step forward. A cruel merchant captain might be handed to his own men. The pirate crew just grew by 6, and every one of them chose this. 5 in the evening. Back aboard, and now the moment the whole system was built for. The division. Every man on deck. The quartermaster opens the books. And here is the split that should not exist in 1717. An ordinary crewman gets 1 share. Skilled men, the carpenter, the surgeon, the gunner, get 1 1/4. The quartermaster gets 1 1/2. The captain gets 2 shares. Maybe. 2 to 1. Captain to newest deckhand. In the merchant service, a captain could earn many multiples of an ordinary sailor's wage while cheating him at the ledger. On this ship, the man who commands earns twice what you do, and everyone watched the counting. And before anyone gets paid, the injured get paid first. The articles list it like a menu. So much for a lost right arm, so much for a left, for a leg, for an eye. Workers' compensation, written by criminals, decades before any government dreamed of it. Why would thieves build the fairest system on the ocean? Not because they were good men, because fairness was armor. A cheated pirate can't sue, he can only mutiny, so the ship that removed reasons for mutiny sailed further, fought harder, and hid its gold from no one aboard. 8 in the evening, anchored in a hidden cove. Rum ration. Someone has a fiddle. Tomorrow could bring a storm, a noose, or a Spanish galleon slow enough to catch. And that's the honest math of this life. Most pirates were dead, retired, or hanged within 2 years. They knew it. They chose it anyway. A short life and a merry one because the alternative was legal, respectable, and slower. Being flogged, cheated, and buried nameless in a navy that valued them at nothing. You fall asleep in the swinging hammock, both hands closed around your share. One day as a pirate, you were more democracy than outlaw, more scurvy than sword fight, and richer tonight than a Navy sailor after 5 years of obedience. If you want another day inside another life the textbooks lied about, there's one waiting on your screen right now.